Maybe we'll get to see Estinien. Estinien Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. His was another name that featured prominently in the history books, and it will be fascinating to meet him man in the flesh. Brad T is always like that boy. I get the impression Arnvold is a lot more apprehensive than he lets on. He will have been grateful ALPHINAUD was there to see him off. Here be dragons. ALPHINAUD is keen to track down Estinien. So Estinien was bound for Ishgard. Whatever it is that brings him home, we must hope it will keep him there long enough for us to find him. Come, there is no time to lose. Alright, let's head up to Ishgard. Let's see, only 422. Alright, my brain was thinking we're going from Kugane, but we're not. We're in Garabanya. Oh, right, where do we need to go? Right here? Assuming we find him, this will be my first encounter with the famous Estinien. That's right, she hasn't actually met him. And if this is half the man ALPHINAUD claims, I fully expect to go weak at the knees. Perhaps to do a little bit of fainting while I'm at it. No, Alizane, that's not like you. I've only visited Ishgard once before, after the devastation of the 8th Umbral Calamity. To see the place in all its in all its original glory, is a tantalizing prospect indeed. All present? Good. Let's split up and search for Estinien. Since we're relatively new to this place, Graha and I will look around the open spaces, the squares and markets and whatnot. You and Brillian can delve into the nooks and crannies. I don't think Estinien's going to be in the open spaces. Very well. Let's reconvene at the airship later on, with or without Estinien. Good luck. I think I shall begin at the Sky Steel Manufactory, so perhaps you could try the congregation. Lucia may well have heard news of our friend's return. Yeah, Lucia or, what's his name again? Handsome Elf Man number 2. I can picture him, Emmerich. But Emmerich was at Garabanya with us at the meeting, so I doubt he's back yet. But let's see, but Lucia should still be here. Let's see what she has to say. Good evening to you, Warrior of Light. Lord Emmerich sent word that you would be attending the meeting in Alamigo, so I gather you have not come in search of him. To what then do we owe the pleasure of your visit? I see. No, we were not aware that Sir Estinien had returned to Ishgard, but as I expect you remember, he is wont to come and go as he pleases. Mayhaps he came seeking an audience with Lord Emmerich, only to find him absent? In any event, I am afraid I cannot help you. Perhaps one of your companions has fared better. Of course she hasn't heard him, that would be too easy. So we gotta meet back at the airship? Probably. I mean, if all else fails, we can just go and, like, get Tatari to get her special forces to track him down or something. Her very suspicious methods. Now, where's ALPHINAUD? Sir Estinien is every bit as elusive as Urianger suggested. You remember to disable it every single time. Need text advance.
Sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way ALPHINAUD goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
Except he wouldn't be in a crowd, because he's Estinien.
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
No. They misunderstand. Oh.
First the Scion's Coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence.
Yeah, Estinien!
Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
Oh no, wrong one.
Too long.
Yeah, wrong one. He's getting her
You
confused.
look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, ALPHINAUD.
Twice as rugged. Oh no.
Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong side?
Oh, she's gonna beat him up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I am not ALPHINAUD!
Yes.
If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged? Ugh! Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
Off to on a great start.
Estinien Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light's side.
Yep, I'm a fanboy. Yep.
To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
This is great.
Would someone mind explaining what is going on?
Understandable
Is
reaction.
everything all right? I thought I heard Alize shouting. Estinien! It's been too long. No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
Except they look completely different.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again. What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
Oh, that's cute.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
Yeah, Big
At
Brother
least someone's
Estinien.
having a good time.
Oh, that'll say.
You know, when we were growing up, ALPHINAUD would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinien as he does Arenvald.
Perhaps he sees them as the brothers he never had. I think he learned how to talk with people rather than at them. Well, you can't keep him all to yourself. I'm really tempted to do 3. Yeah, let's go with that. See what she does.
Keep him to my... You're joking, aren't you? I'd be glad if someone would take him off my hands.
Oh, are you sure about that? Come on, Alize.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Azisla.
Azisla? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
You forgot, what their name is.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Azisla, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
Yeah, that's the dragon that's locked up there that
I
we talked
see.
to.
As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation.
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azisla together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
I think she could put up with it.
Be my guest. But confuse me with ALPHINAUD again and I'll throw you overboard.
She's not lying, Estinien. She's serious.
Ugh! I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like ALPHINAUD painted him to be.
Of course.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less blunt.
Nope, that's Estinien. That was funny. Tiamat summoned Bahamut once before. She may have again, willfully or no. Not to complain, but I didn't expect to find myself here again quite so soon. That's right, we were here with Alize and Graha Tia to find out the, to help with the tempering cure stuff. So this is the Delta Quadrant, where countless dragons yet lie imprisoned, the great Tiamat being one among them. It has been quite some time since last I set foot in Az's Law, but I understand that the three of you were here rather more recently. I don't suppose you chanced to meet with Tiamat during your visit? Alas not. We had no clue to set foot here in the Delta Quadrant, but I have studied the relevant records, which is not to say I would appreciate a first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well then, Brilliant is the person for the task. As far as I know, she's the only one of us to have met Tiamat face to face. That's right. And we talked with Midgar Sommer and her. Even now, she remains a prisoner of the Allegan Empire. Let's just say it helped that Midgar Sommer was there to introduce me. Yeah, that's fine. Ah yes, you were a friend of her father. I too have met Tiamat. Flashbang. After the Dragonsong War came to a close, I came here to speak with her, a worm who had fought her own war against man in another age. I wished to know if she yet harbored thoughts of vengeance, and asked as much. She said no. Flashbang. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels for resurrecting Bahamut burns undimmed. It torments her even now. I see. Then the original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat had been forced to summon Bahamut. Yeah. Nidhogg is a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own, and I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls to me to watch over her. I just pick the coins. I'm never going to use this. Let's see, that was the second quest. Yeah, we still got 3 more. Our grandfather sacrificed everything to protect the realm from Bahamut. We must be prepared to do the same. The Azure Dragoons of history were the mortal enemies of the dragons, yet now they would be hard-pressed to find a soul who understood them better. It was the Ascians who taught Tiamat the secrets of summoning, even as they supplied the Allegans with the means to capture primals. So much suffering. All of it by design. It was by design?! Righteous in indignation, Estinien is ready to lead the way to Tiamat. Tiamat awaits. This way. Stoic nods. Well, let's head on over there. Let's go talk to Tiamat and see what happened. Or if she's involved at all. Get the feeling she's not, but maybe she can give us some information that will help us. To think that man is responsible for all of this, and so much else that dragonkind has suffered. Oh, yep, there she is. Resigned to her fate, though she may be, I cannot help but feel that we may be able to help Tiamat, would she only let us. So this is one of the 7 great worms. Even thus confined, her presence is overwhelming. ... I mean, I don't know what I expected talking to Estinien. My sire's mortal companions, what bringeth thee back to this forsaken place, child of man?
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
That's what I figured. I didn't think she was the one that summoned Bahamut this time. That my sins should be repeated. I sense not the faintest stirring. As to who could have called him forth, I know of none save the dragon of Mericidia, our children. The icon claimed their souls when first he manifested, and robbed of their will, they became tools for the Allagan's dark designs.
I've seen it with my own eyes. Captives of a lost empire, neither alive nor dead, existing only to preserve Bahamut's corporeal form.
It's part of Coils, I believe. Yes, the dragons of Mericidia are the mercy of this Estinien. There can be no other explanation. Accursed Estinens, vile minions of darkness. Again, you would profane the memory of my beloved and strip our children of their freedom, their dignity. Are there no depths in which you will not stoop? She's mad.
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering.
He's just gonna say it.
But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished.
He is quite blunt. What wouldst thou have from me, slayer of dragons?
Behavior befitting a great worm.
Oh, he's telling her to suck it up and break out of those chains.
To ask mighty Tiamat of the first brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Mericidia, what she intends to do about the crimes committed against her children.
Man, she's just gonna pull a Hastefalger. And just sit it out. Were I free, I would answer thine insolence with fire. What words shall have to suffice? Recall, mortals, that it was I who did first summon my beloved, praying with all my might to bring him forth. You who contended the icon, come on.
You too were exposed to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul. But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
Oh, he's calling her out. Indeed. Ask the Dragon Slayer, and he will tell thee of the power we of the First Brood wield. Yeah, Estinien would know. Were I to lose myself to the Icon's influence, all would pay the price. But it is of little matter, for even had I the strength to resist, I yet lack the strength to break my shackles. This prison shall be my tomb.
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance. If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And while we've never tried it on one such as you, its basic principles are universal.
Speakest thou in earnest?
There is no future for those bound to the past.
He's the one saying
That you
this.
committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute. But if you feel remorse, you may yet make amends. We offer you that chance. Take it, or you will forever remain a prisoner, not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
Again, ALPHINAUD's the one saying this. A chance to make amends, to lay Bahamut's memory to rest. You're playing answers in the background? When your own star faced annihilation, Hydaelyn granted us sanctuary, and now your foes would bring about her destruction. This I cannot allow, for the debt I owe to Hydaelyn and to all who have suffered for my sins. I shall fight with you, children of man. I want to listen to what song it is. This is Revolutions. I think it's Revolutions. Or is it Dragon Song? I don't know. It's one of those. I would play Revolutions now. Probably just have the complete wrong song. Oh, let's talk to them. It won't make up for what she suffered at the hands of men, but if there's a chance we can free her, truly free her, we owe it to her to try. I confess, my heart was in my throat when Estinien thought to berate her, but it appears to have had the desired effect. It would seem she still has some pride after all. Let's see if she's as good as her word. While Porxies have been shown to be effective at curing the tempered, Tiamat must be considered a special case. She is far, far larger and immeasurably more powerful than any subject treated thus far. Were we to remove her restraints only to find that the process had failed, we would be hard-pressed to contain her. What do you mean? We got Estinien and me here. What's the problem? Then, before going ahead, we should learn as much as we can about the exact nature of her condition. Do you suppose we can find that information here? Why, yes, we can. We can indeed. The Elegants kept detailed records on all of their notable captives, and I know exactly where to look. Of course he does. We shall leave that to you then. In the meantime, the rest of us can turn our thoughts to the removal of these shackles. I know ALPHINAUD and Beryllian here well enough, but not you. Are you certain you're ready to see this through? Oh, trust me. Rest assured, Sir Estinien, that I am both ready and willing to give my all for the sake of this star, though that is not my only reason for wanting to set Tiamat free. While I do claim to know all about her sorrows, I too once found myself in a prison of despair, and I well understand how hard it can be to dare to dream of escape. It took the encouragement of braver souls than I am to make me take the first step towards a brighter future, and now I would help Tiamat do the same. I gather you're not as young as you look. Oh boy, no he isn't. Mayhap when our work here is done, we could trade tales over a pot of Tataru's famous tea. And be indebted to her for the leaves and hot water? I think not. Estinien's dealt with Tataru to know that's not a good idea. I see. Ahem. Returning swiftly to the task at hand, then. I believe the nodes governing Tiamat's restraints are located in the sector known as the Flagship. Ah yes, we are familiar with that. The Aether Chemical Research Facility in particular. Oh, you may wish to take this. A spirit vessel, containing a small amount of my blood. Oh yeah, then we can get into elegant stuff. Which you just happen to be carrying around with you. I suppose that could seem rather odd. To explain, Rambros, Urianger, and I are researching the use of spirit vessels in the transference not only of memories, but the traits of certain bloodlines. So I keep one at ready should an opportunity to test our theories arise. As for its use to you, I can recall that during our previous visit, the nodes here granted access to the restricted functions, having identified me as being of royal blood, and armed with the spirit vessel, I posit that they will do with the same for you, even in the absence of, well, the rest of me. It seemed worth a try at least. Agreed. We will take good care of it. To the flagship, then. Stoic nod. Okay, let's talk to Alizé and Graha, and then we'll head over to the flagship. It's possible the restraints may have mitigated the effects of the tempering, but Tiamat has been enthralled to Bahamut for thousands of years. To have clung on to her reason through it all says a lot of her strength of will. More than a lot. Alizé and I shall remain here and attend to necessary preparations. In the event that the spirit vessel fails to work as expected, you know where to find me. Good luck. Alright then, let's head on over to the flagship. Yep, we're gonna head up to the Aether Chemical Research Facility. I believe this is where the triad, or whatever we did. I mean, we did a bunch of stuff here. I would rather leave these elegant contraptions to you and ALPHINAUD. Let us split up and search the flagship for the node that controls Tiamat's restraints. But should you find a likely candidate, do not be tempted to make any adjustments. It would not do to accidentally release some manner of experimental monstrosity, nor less Tiamat herself in her current state. Our objective at this stage is to simply identify the relevant node or nodes. Once we have learned that what we can, we shall reconvene and compare notes prior to proceeding. Alright then, let's go search for the correct node. Let's see, where would it be? Maybe it's the objective marker. Grr. Data link with the Delta Quadrant broken. Possible cause, intruder interference. Advise deployment of automated combat units. Proceed. No. Let's not do that. Friction between metallic components detecting temperature increase to critical levels. Please replace damaged parts or retreat to a safe distance. Psst. Again, not what we need. Where's the last one? Well, there's ALPHINAUD. Let's go talk to him. I realize I've said this before, and on more than one occasion, but I never cease to be amazed by elegant technology. Amazed and disturbed. Understandable. Let's see if Estinien is around. Well, there's the objective that we need. But let me see if I can find Estinien around here. Okay, so he has moved, but maybe he's just not in the area. That's fine, let's talk to the node. Bleep bloop. Warning. Scheduled dragon restraint maintenance due in negative 2020 years. Failure to verify system integrity may result in unscheduled specimen release. Well, that doesn't sound good. Infernal things. One of them sent a swarm of mechanical vilekin to plague me. I must have angered it. Well, that wouldn't surprise me. I'm afraid Estinien and I have little to show for our efforts. Did you find anything? I did, a node which smelled like burned hair. Yes, a chippering node which spontaneously warned me about neglecting the dragon restraints. I, found a way to activate mechanical sentries, if that's a help. Spontaneously, you say? Well, that does not sound promising. Almost suspiciously so, in fact. But then you were in possession of the spirit vessel. I dare say it is indeed the node which Graha spoke. And it was chirping, you say? Very well, let us take a closer look. Can we just literally just go over it? Let's not try and engage this thing. How did the Alligans tell these godforsaken things apart? Well, this one's green and round. The one over there was yellow and rectangular. And this one says clamorous node above its head. What are you talking about? There's no thing that says clamorous node above his head. As I suspected, the node will not acknowledge my authority to issue it instructions. Nope. Do you wish to operate the dragon restraint mechanism? Yes. Blip bloop. You do not have the requisite access privileges. Operation of the dragon restraint mechanism may only be undertaken by the chief technologist and members of the royal family. Or those with a vessel full of royal blood, perhaps. We haven't fixed your tempering yet. Bloop. New user detected. Commencing biometric authentication. Bloop. Authentication complete. User identified as member of the royal family. Please state your name. Let's just use my name. Bloop. Welcome, Brilliant Mason. You may operate the dragon restraints mechanism when ready. Blip bloop. Error. Unable to disengage your restraints of the specimen. Tiamat. A system update. A system update is required. Of course it is. A system update? What do you suppose it is asking of us? I could hazard a guess. Of course it needs updates. Well, that's more than I can say. Confounded bloody thing. Estinien being a boomer as usual. User agitation detected. Initiating guidance program. Bloop. In order to operate the restraint mechanism, I require access to central control system. However, I am unable to establish link to said system due to obsolescence of my own software. So it's an IoT device. This issue can be resolved by applying a system update using the corresponding terminal located within the flagship. So this thing releases the restraints or not. Of course, Estinien can't do anything with technology. It can, but only once it has received the required system update, as far as I can tell. Until which time it'll float there and spewing nonsense? Yes. User dissatisfaction detected. Initiating classification protocols. Blue? I am here to help. Rest assured that I will be on hand to guide you through every step of the system update process. How gratifying, but I dare say we will fare better with guidance than without it. Stoic nod. This is hilarious.